What's up guys, it is Sam here from Market Movers, and today I'm just going to do a video on why adding jobs to the economy is actually nearly a negative at the moment and how that actually makes sense. As you might have seen this in the markets over the last week or so, they've been extremely negative. I'm going to touch on why that is and why adding jobs to the market has become a negative thing, where it's perceived by the general public as a positive thing. So I'm just going to explain a bit about what is actually going on there, have a look at what's going on in Ireland's labour market, and just explain what is actually happening out there at the moment and why adding jobs is actually a bad thing for the markets, but it's obviously a good thing for the individuals, but it's bad for the markets. So let's do a bit of explanation about what is going on and that news that broke last week. So let's get into the video. So guys, this is the news that broke last week and crashed the markets. Whereas most people would see this as a positive thing, the markets see this as a negative thing. So the payroll increased by 263,000 jobs were added in September to the US, which brings their unemployment rate down to 3.5%, which is nearly an all-time low. So low unemployment rate is what drives demand. So more people have money, more people want stuff, so it drives more and more demand, and the Fed has been increasing their rates to try to bring down this demand and bring down the amount of job openings that are there. But this doesn't seem to be the case. So this just proves that they need to continue with their rate hikes, which makes the money supply even tighter, because they need to bring down this demand. In the Fed's eyes, unemployment increasing for the moment is actually more desirable than unemployment rate going down. So it sounds contradictory that it doesn't help the ordinary person, but that's what they want to do. They want to bring down the amount of demand, the amount of money that people have in their system, in their bank accounts. They want to bring that amount down. So you stop buying stuff, stop expending more and more money, and just basically quell the economy that is raging at the moment. So that's kind of what's going on in the US at the moment, and that's why they crashed the markets basically towards the end of the week there with this report, because it indicates that they do need to keep increasing rates. So as long as rates was to keep increasing, mortgages will keep going up, the market will probably keep going down, because the money to fund growth is more and more expensive. So this is an issue. So whenever this kind of starts reversing, unemployment goes up and payroll is no longer adding jobs, actually losing jobs, and we also see a downtick in inflation, that's when we'll see a reversal of the rate hikes that are currently going on in the US. And when that kind of happens, the market will say this is a positive, and when money becomes cheaper again, the market will increase in value. That's a very simplified explanation, but that is what is happening at the moment, and it's kind of hard to wrap your head around why the government would want you to be unemployed, but that is essentially why they want to bring down demand, bring down inflation, and of course people are going to get hurt in this crossfire as well. So that's what is happening in the US. But here in Ireland, we have a bit of a higher unemployment rate than the US of around 4.3%. It's not that much, but Ireland, is adding more jobs than they were previously, which is, look, it's positive. People have jobs. It is positive, but it's still fueling the fire of inflation, which is hurting everybody at the moment. It's So Ireland now has unemployed persons of 119,000, and previously we had 127,000. So that's proving that people are still getting hired. There's still good demand in the jobs market, which is definitely a positive. It's definitely a positive for people, but it's not going to bring down inflation. And the ECB will look at examples like Ireland and say we still need to increase rates, jobs are still being added, people are still having more money, the demand is still going higher. So this is just kind of what's happening on a smaller level in Ireland, and it's what the ECB will look at when they're on about increasing rates. So it's still positive though, that people having jobs and stuff. It's still very good. But the labour participation rate in Ireland is extremely high. So 73.5% of people are unemployed, are employed, which is brilliant, which is very high. It's the highest it's been in the last 3 years. Even if you look at the last 10 years, it's the highest it's been in the last 10 years. The last 25 years, it is still the highest it has been. So yeah, it's good. It is a good thing, but it still is adding fire to the inflation problem that we're currently going through. So as well, now, so the average weekly earnings year over year. So basically, Ireland's wages have increased 2.4% year over year. So 2.4% is what we've increased year over year. And we haven't really increased this year at all, whereas inflation has ran over 8% for most of the year. And then real inflation is higher than that. When you're taking into account your energy bills and the cost of fuel and all that kind of stuff, it is more expensive. So this rate is not good. So what would happen if you have runaway inflation, which we do pretty much have, but it is starting to kind of now peak and start to tilt downways. But if you have inflation and no wage growth, you end up with stagflation, which is the ultimate nightmare for economists. So stagflation, runaway inflation, no wage growth, basically leads to people suffering from the cost of stuff. So that is a situation that all economists want to avoid, and hopefully it can be avoided. So I'll have a quick look here. The forecasts. So yeah, they're expecting 3.6% by the end of the quarter, which is, look, it's still not it's only 1/3 nearly of what inflation is, and yeah, they're still expected to grow 2.9% 2023 and 2.2% 2024, which is, look, it's still an increase in wages, which is not what stagflation is. So hopefully Ireland can avoid this on a small level, but other economies may not be so lucky, like the UK or also maybe in the States as well. So this is potentially an issue. One thing as well I just want to look at is the long-term unemployment rate in Ireland. So over the last 10 years, it has been down. So now Ireland only has a long-term unemployment rate at 1.2% of the population. So 5 million people, there's about 50,000, about 60,000 people that are long-term unemployed, which is very, very low. It's very, very low for the amount of people that are in this country, which is an absolute positive. But that also, adds to the demand, adds to inflation, and that explains why everything is a lot more expensive here than it used to be. So guys, look, that's what I wanted to touch on what is happening and why the market has been crashing over the last week or so. And that's it. This is basically because unemployment is extremely, extremely low. Inflation fight is still going on and doesn't really have any end in sight. And that's pretty much it. So guys, look, I'll see you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed this and kind of learned what was actually happening in the markets the last week or so. Bye bye.